Okay, okay, so we'll just go ahead and get started. As most of you know, the Human Services program requires 2 semesters of field experience. Within that semester, each semester, you have to get 180 hours of service to your field site. Your field site can be one of our affiliated sites. That's sites that previous students have been at, worked for. If I'll send out a list of affiliated sites to the student body, but if you don't see a site in your locale where you live or that's reasonable for you to get to, you can choose a site that's close to you or that you'd like to work at. Maybe you want to work for, let's say, the detention center in Elko. I don't even know if there is one, but let's just say there is. Or you want to work for the courts, or you want to work for social services or human services. We have a site, human services site for the state of Nevada, just down the street in Pahrump. You can talk to the folks down there. If they don't have affiliated, you just basically need to go in there and ask them if they're accepting interns for human services. They might not know. Sometimes it's new for them. Sometimes they have other affiliations with different colleges and universities, so it's not a big deal for them. The only thing that we require is for them, the site, to sign. If you can see the screen up right now, Elko, can you see the screen? You can just nod yes or no. Yeah. Okay, great. So this field experience affiliation agreement has to be signed by someone who has signing authority from that agency. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Wow, this computer's slow. Okay, and basically they put their agency name here, the date, and then some responsibilities that the institution has, and then responsibilities that the facility has. You will turn this into me, and I will get the signature from the dean, and we will store this on record. The GBC, or the Nevada System of Higher Education, insures our students when they're in field experience, so there's no liability to the agency, at least within reason. Of course, if you do something heinous, you're on you. But you are representing the college, this program, and I take it personal myself. So make sure when you are on site that you act accordingly, professionally. If you have any issues, you can always contact me. So along with working at this site, which you'll get 10 to 12 hours of service per week, you're going to have a course, an online course, just like you normally do. And you'll have book work, and it's pretty light. I take a lot of the assignments out. It's just quizzes, exams, and then a few assignments. But it's a lot lighter because I know that you're in field experience, which takes a lot of your time. The field experience hours that you're required to do, you can negotiate with your site. They might tell you, no, this is the time when you need to be here, and that's that. Or if they're amenable, they might say, yeah, you can come in the evenings or something like that. Most sites are pretty flexible. It's free labor, so they're happy to kind of work around that. I typically don't have problems. Most agencies that work in social services or human services are pretty accommodating. They recognize that they've been there. They know your students, and they like to help. A lot of them enjoy the experience of being a supervisor. Along with that, so one of the things that I'll give you is a letter of introduction. If you're going to a site that you're not familiar with, or even if they are on the affiliation list, it's nice to have, and I provide you this letter. It gives them a kind of an overview of what field experience is, what's expected of them, and what's expected of you. This is a nice way for you not to have to make a cold call. You can send them an email asking, and you can attach this letter. Just introduce yourself. You will essentially have to prepare a resume in advance. We have resume writing services. If you have trouble with that, you can talk to me if you'd like a little bit of feedback. Some people send me their resumes, ask me, oh, well, I don't really have much. Well, sometimes that's because you're a student and you haven't had a job yet. That's okay. You can list courses that you've taken as evidence of your understanding and knowledge of the field, but the whole point of field experience is to give you that field experience. And one of the most useful parts of field experience is when you graduate, you have work experience that you can use to obtain a job, or in many cases, your field experience site will hire you right out because we're in such short supply of qualified human service professionals. So on the Zoom meeting, it gets this weird reverb, so I'm going to fix that in the future by just having the Zoom meeting. But for right now, if you have a question, if you could type it in, that might be more helpful. I don't know if you guys see where that's at, but it's in the window. You can type me a message. Let's see. That is a blank page. So not what I'm looking for. Let me go through a few different resources that one of those is when you're on at your field site, you'll have a number of assessments that are going to be completed. One will be completed by your site supervisor, and they should. It's an assignment, and I'll send you a link to that survey, and they will evaluate you based on your performance at mid-semester and at the end of semester. You will also have an opportunity to evaluate yourself. Come on, I don't know the password for this. Okay, that's okay. I'll go into one of the courses to show you. You guys should be really impressed that I remember that password. Okay, so this is what I see, along with a shit ton of emails from you guys. Sorry. About why you can't do something I asked you to do. Okay, so let's look at the assignments really quick. This is what the course looks like. I'm going to go to the home page so you can kind of see it. This is the live course, so hopefully we don't show any grades or anything. So it's broken down pretty easily. The first couple weeks there's a little bit more, but then after that it really just breaks down to quizzes and practicum journal. And that journal is basically you sharing your experience weekly, reflecting on what you're learning in the chapter. Now the book is the same book for 205 and 206, so it's nice. It's a 26-chapter book. The first 13 chapters or 14 chapters you'll do in 205, and then the subsequent chapters you'll do in 206. So you keep the same textbook for both semesters, which I did that intentionally to save you a little bit of money, but also kind of the continuity of the things we want to cover in there. One of the most important things is you're going to learn to interact with people, improve your oral communication skills, your presentation skills, your work experience. If you haven't worked with certain computer systems, you'll get a little bit of experience doing that. Some of the laws surrounding working with people, privacy laws, HIPAA compliance, those kinds of things. But also just getting the confidence that, hey, like you've got a supervisor there to answer questions. You can also come to me. And then I'll do spot checks. I'll call your supervisor just to ask how you're doing, or email them if they can't get a hold of me. So let me show you the field experience. Here's a self-evaluation, okay? And this is, so you'll do this on your own. This will be one of your assignments. And you just fill out the survey, your name, agency, email, and then what knowledge and skills have you acquired or improved during your field experience. Just type a short summary of that. What knowledge or skill limitations have you become aware of? So a lot of times you'll realize, oh, there's a lot I don't know about HIPAA compliance, or there's a lot I don't know about client record keeping, or there's a lot I don't know about mandated reporting for child welfare, things like that, things that will come up that we don't really cover because we don't interact with those systems. Okay, and then number 4, in what ways do you feel the following are helpful? The agency supervisor, course instructor, coworkers, fellow students, and then any other concerns, comments, type your name, done. That's it. I just want to see how you're doing, and this isn't really, I mean, we definitely want feedback about the site, so if there's a problem there, you could put it here, but I should hear about it before then. Especially if you want to be reassigned. You can reassign yourself, but it's a real hassle because you're going to have to find that site in the middle of the semester and keep up with your coursework. And that could interfere with your hours, and you have to have those hours done by the end of semester because I got to post grades. And basically, hours are 180 hours. The points for the assignment are 180 points. So if you get 180 points, you get 180 hours, you get 180 points. You get anything less than that, you get less. And then your supervisor has to sign off on that. Let's see. Okay, I got the chat window up just in case anybody wants to chat. Hopefully I can. Let me go back. This is really hard because I'm trying to, nope. Did I just get out of the screen share? It's like your grandpa using your computer, huh? Where is it? Okay. Oh, yeah. So going back into the assignment, I'm going to show you what the supervisor will see. This is the supervisor evaluation on the midterm for your. It's basically like your midterm, you know, kind of like. Okay, so you will send this link. You will email it to your boss, and he will or she will fill out this form, and they're going to rate you on dependability, flexibility, being constructive and enthusiastic, showing initiative, proper hygiene. You'll be surprised that that was an issue, but it is. So please be presentable. Remember, you're representing the college, the program, and myself. So anything you wouldn't want to do in front of me, please don't do at your job site. Interactively, effectively with the supervisor and coworkers, and this is going to be like communication skills, listening skills, the things that we covered, and we want to be able to demonstrate those. Seeking information and appropriate support, so asking questions, taking the initiative to tell people I don't understand this and I need clarification. Attending meetings and training sessions. You want to show up on time, you want to participate. You know, just because it's not a paid position doesn't mean you can't. It's actually more important because you're actually paying to go there. It makes sense. It's like, yeah, so it's a little bit more, almost in another way, in some ways it's more important because you're paying for it. Demonstrating ethical behavior and professional conduct. You know, don't be creepy. Don't leer at people. Don't do anything unethical with protected classes of people, children, the elderly. I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, but this stuff happens, and you look at the paper every day. Some guy or girl has done something, and it really pisses me off because, you know, you don't have to go through college to harass people. You can just do that on your own. Don't go through a program to do that. You know, get an ice cream truck or whatever. You know, just leave our profession alone because you'll get caught eventually, and we're going to weed you out, and then it's going to be a big deal. We have done things like strip people of their degrees if they have been charged and found guilty of certain charges. So it's a big deal. We take it really seriously. It's the only way we can protect the profession. So I've got my eyes on you. Your supervisor's got their eyes on you, and it's kind of hard to fake over a year. So we kind of look for that. I don't have any indication of any of my students being like that. but they're in any given set of the population. Organization skills, understanding the philosophy and services of treatment, understanding observations and policies and procedures. So it's important to, you might get to an agency and they might not have very good organization, but you kind of do the best you can in the situation. Others will be very organized and sometimes strict, and you want to definitely fall in line with that culture. Demonstrate professional written and oral communication skills. That should be done. With all the writing that we make you do, that I make you do, every one of my courses has an APA-style research paper or research summary review, so you've got that down. You'll be surprised how many people in the working field are terrible writers. And when you work in this field, you write a lot. So how efficiently you work, or if you're getting your tasks done timely. And then it goes on to skill sets for clients. Demonstrate good listening, good behavioral observations, shows empathy. Maintain client confidentiality and so forth. And then they're going to give you a grade, and this will be the grade for your assignment. If you get a B, and if she gives you a C or he, that's what you get. And your points are go accordingly. So you should be asking your site supervisor in advance, like, I've got this coming up. Is there anything I need to do to improve? That's good feedback. That's good communication. If you're not doing that and you're surprised at mid-semester, then you really haven't been paying attention. So we want to make sure, I know I probably sound kind of harsh today, but I really want you guys to make a good impression and have a good experience there. It's a lot of work for the sites to take you on. Most of them are really glad to do it, but I want you to take that opportunity and the experiences you're going to get from that really seriously and show it the proper honor and respect that it deserves. That's pretty much the course. It's not super hard. Some people don't like the book. I like the book. The quizzes aren't that hard. There's going to be a midterm and a final. But it's really straightforward. The assignments are not taxing at all, and these are also 5-credit courses because of the amount of hours you have to put in the internship site. We have the option of making that internship hours 300 hours per semester, but we opted to go on to the lower end of 180, but give you 2 different sites, so it's a total of 320. Is that right? 360, yeah. Yeah, 180, yeah. Okay, let me go back into some of the resources. Huh. We also have a handbook that when you're assigned to the course, you'll get access to, which has a breakdown of everything you're expected to do in there. So here's a field experience list. It's very short. It's bigger now because we've had more students. Basically, when I started 2 years ago, this was empty, so this is kind of good for what we had. And these are sites that already have affiliation agreements signed and are approved through the college. So one of the things that happens is we do a check on the agency. One, to make sure their tax liability is paid up, they have a business license or nonprofit license, things like that. So it's not just any site. Yeah, go ahead.
Where is this Nevada Division of Child and Family Services?
Uh-huh.
Would that just be like the office here on Calvada, or I mean that's a broader branch?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the state is so big.
Yeah, that's what
you might work. Somebody might have worked there in Elko or something, or Pahrump, and they don't even know each other. So I would contact the local office, tell them, yeah, and go from there.
Okay.
This is going to be some legwork on your end. That's why I'm doing the orientation now. One, I can't place you because I don't have resources to like manage that, and 2, it gives you the experience of what it's like to go out and get a job. You just really have to go get it yourself. There's nobody going to do it for you. So if you're confused or you have questions or you're, worried about that, just contact me. I'll walk you through it. I'm willing to do that. I'm just not willing to do it for you. I'm willing to help you through it. You can, like I said, you can send me your resume. You can ask me about sites. I get good feedback from just about all of our sites. Some people are like, yeah, it was good, but it wasn't really what I was looking for. Okay, well, that's, when you're interviewing, ask them, what kind of things am I going to do here? What kind of things am I going to learn here? This is your education, it's part of it. And you're getting used to what it means to be a professional. And that means looking for resources, not rather than asking. I'm glad to answer questions and work with any of my students, but when you're asking me a question that you can find on GBC's website or Google it, maybe you want to have a conversation with me, that's okay. But that's not using your resources appropriately, and most students don't do that, but I think sometimes I do the same thing. Like, you get a little bit flustered and you just want somebody there to help you. And of course, I'm pretty timely getting back to you guys. Grading is another story. Hopefully all of our grades are caught up. But that's basically the gist of it. If you have any questions, I can entertain them now. No? No questions. I want to get back to, sorry, I want to get back to the chat window in case there's anybody asking me. I'm just asking the group online. This is a big cohort. This is the biggest cohort that I've seen, which is exciting. Okay, maybe Madison. Somebody's typing. I don't know. While that's coming up, I'll check back. You guys seeing all my personal work emails. Dang it, that didn't go through. Will we go to 2 different places once each semester? This is a question from Madison. You can stay at your site if you like it and you feel like you're continuing to grow and gain knowledge. Other sites you might think, I think I've got everything I wanted to get out of here, and you want to start planning for the spring to start a new site, and basically you do the same procedure over. Basically, look for an affiliated site that is on the list. If there isn't one, you can get one. You can go to the local police department. Everyone is happy to have educated students work for them for free. So it's usually not an issue. And I like to give you the flexibility. When I was at UNLV, they made you go to another site. I didn't like that, but it was a policy that was in place before I got there. So when I came here, I changed that to be flexible, because you might decide, oh, well, I want to stay here, and they've already told me they're going to hire me when I graduate. So why make you go look for something else? I think it's a good idea, but it's not always in your best interest. Sometimes, I want to be rational, supportive, and flexible. So hopefully you guys, when you go into your professions, are too. So we all have a nice way to live and be with each other instead of just making a rule and saying, no, that's it, that's the way it's got to be. Yeah. So, and always ask me if you have an idea, you're like, hey, there's something I want to do, it's kind of weird. We've had graduates, somebody from Saudi Arabia just emailed me, and they want to take our online courses, and they wanted to know, well, can I do my internship in Saudi Arabia? I'm like, sure. As long as where you're at, I'm good with that. So if you decide, hey, I'm moving, this actually happened. We had a student relocate from Elko area to Shreveport, Louisiana, and I let her do her internship, or she asked me, and we found a site, Lighthouse. They work with after-school programs and foster kids, and she did her entire internship in Louisiana. Yeah, that's the beauty of the internet. Like, we could still stay in contact. Their supervisor called me. If there was issues, they signed the affiliation agreement and did the evaluations, and that's all that's required. Any other questions? Did I answer everything about that question, Madison? Okay. Thank you for nodding. Yeah, so any other questions? I'm trying to pull something up here. I just emailed it to myself, but it's not going through for some reason. Okay, so just think if there's any more questions kind of spinning around in your mind, let me know. But I wanted to show everybody our new graduation pins. Yeah. I can't tell you, most of you probably know this, but I worked in IT for 17 years, and so when I see a bad computer system, I get really irritable. This should be good. All right. Yeah, that's not working. Well, I wish I could show it to you. Let me try one more time. We just have a few. We have enough time here. Sorry to make everyone wait, but I'm really excited about this. Okay, let me check back in with chat, make sure nobody. Okay, here's another question from Justin. I'm currently in a substance abuse certificate program. Does that even exist? And if so, can we get paid while we are an intern? I don't think I understand the question. You're in a substance abuse certificate program at GVC?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you a human services major?
Well, the bachelor program or substance abuse.
Oh, I see. If you're going to do the bachelor's program, is that what you're saying? Then there'll be an internship in that also, which is separate.
I'm not even supposed to be in this meeting. Is that what you're saying, Oscar?
I can't hear you. You're getting this is a really bad echo. Go ahead and try now. I just muted myself.
I'm not even supposed to be in this meeting then. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, probably not. It's we'll have a orientation for the bachelor's. It'll be very similar, almost mirror this, except for the coursework will be a little bit more challenging because it'll be upper division courses. But if you're currently in the certificate program or planning to do the bachelor's, then you can just when we have an orientation for that, you can attend then. But to answer your question, can you get paid while an intern? These are unpaid positions. However, if you land a paid gig, I'm not going to take money out of your mouth, okay? And that might not be fair, but it's what's right. You know, like, well, how come, Bill got a paid position, I didn't? I don't know. The universe, that's the way it works. It's not fair, and at UNLV, we used to say, no paid positions, that's it. Well, guess what? People need to work and eat, and some people drop out of school just so they can find a way to survive. So I'm not gonna nix that. It will definitely. You can't work at Walmart. has to be a human services affiliated site, and they have to have supervision and things like that. So there's going to be conditions there. So, and I'll have to vet that out. So it's kind of be on a case-by-case basis. But you should not expect to be paid in these positions. One, it's going to make it harder for them to hire. Why would they hire you? Like, why would I hire a student and pay them when I can hire a professional and pay them? So it's something to think about. But I would not expect to get payment. There have been instances where I've seen that when I was at UNLV and I ran their human services program. There we had 1,000 students a semester enrolled. So we had massive internship sites, it was big. And we had to be a lot more strict because when you have 1,000 students, you gotta, there's a line from Isaac Asimov. He was a great science fiction writer. He said, when you have, two people sharing a bathroom, you just take turns. When you have 10 people, you have to have a system, right? If you have 1,000 people sharing one bathroom, there can be no human dignity, because it gets pretty gross, right? So sometimes our bureaucracy, our administration seems unfair, but it's because we have to manage what we have with what we can give, So sometimes it's like that. Any other questions? Okay. Let me just go back in here so I can pull my email. Yeah, I don't think it went through again. Yeah, something's wrong. I think the file's corrupt or something. I resent it, but it didn't come through. How about if I look in the sent emails? No, didn't work. Okay, let's check back in with our. Any more questions from anybody online or at any of the sites? I hope that's clear. You might have some questions. Feel free to email me. I'll be checking my emails over the summer, but remember, I'm out of the office, so it's a little bit harder for me to get back, and I'll be traveling quite a bit out of the country, so please don't take it personal if I don't get back to you right away. But yeah, if sometimes the sites have questions, they'll say, hey, we don't understand what the student's saying here. Please give us a call. I'll talk to them. I always like to, even if it's a new site, I like to introduce myself. And I've got sites coming to me like saying, hey, we'd love to have your students in Pahrump where I'm at. I've had people stop by my office and just, why is this not working? One second. Oh, my password was reset, so. All right. Well, maybe it won't work today. Just so you guys know, we're going to have the first ever cap and gown graduation in Pahrump, and I will be in Elko in a few weeks. Don't exactly know when. Let's see. Don't mind my personal calendar here. Yeah, so Elko, I'll be there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'll be leaving Saturday. So if any of you guys want to meet with me and we have time, please message me through Canvas and we can do that. I'll also be in Pahrump on Saturday the 12th for graduation. So it's a nice time. I really enjoy going to graduation. I think it's really important that we, okay, here we go. Can everyone see that? Okay. Can you guys see that? Madison, yes or no? Yes. Okay, so this is our new Human Services pin. We are in the Department of Health Science and Human Services, and the nurses have a tradition of pinning their graduates with the Maltese Falcon. We have a little bit different mission, so I developed this logo, which you've probably seen in the courses. And everybody who graduates, if you graduate, gets a pin, and we pin you at graduation. We have a separate ceremony for that the day before. It's a really nice way to kind of honor your experience, but also connect you with the school as you transition into your professional life. So I'm excited. I was excited about that. I got one, and we have one graduate down here in Pahrump, and I think about 6 or 7 up in Elko. So they'll be getting those. And whether you're in a certificate program or the AAS and Human Services, everyone gets one. So if there are no more questions, I'll go ahead and we can end the meeting. I don't see any more. And in the future, what I'm going to do is we're going to probably just go through Zoom, because it seems like when I do Zoom and in classroom, it gets weird. So if I do one or the other, it's going to have to be that way. The only thing is I can't do both because it's creating a lot of problems. I'm trying to accommodate everybody, but it's just not working. So thank you all for your time. If you have any questions, you can call me, you can email me. I'm always available. I'm going to upload this video for those who missed it and send it out as a link, but it will be truncated. I'll cut out a little bit of it. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.